All right, students. So our today class is occupation, right? So you're having your books with you, students?
Yes, we have.
Okay, so today we are going to learn stitching, right? Stitching clothes, page number 31. Page number 31 to 35. Stitching clothes, right? All right, students. So are you ready? You open already your books. So we are going to start with vocabulary.
Ready.
Ready? Okay. Open up your books and we can start from vocabulary. The first word in our vocabulary we having best. So best is actually best is a long running stage mainly used for a temporary it's used for like a temporary line between two or more than two layer of fabric. It's what we call best, right? Second word in our vocabulary, we have detergent.
Detergent.
So detergent, we have many different type of detergent. We having detergent powder used for washing like a clothes, used for laundry, and other kind of liquid detergent used for like wash dishes, which is used mostly for the cleaning purpose. Detergent. Kerosene. Kerosene. So kerosene, it's actually a kind of fuel, right? So mostly it's used for like a lightning or like a cooking fuel to use for like a fire purpose, right? So kerosene. Mend. Another word we have mend. Mend means like a repair or fix. If we fix something, if we repair something, that means mend. Another word we have pincushion. Pincushion. Pincushion, which is used in sieving to store pins or needles, right? It is what we call pincushion. Another word we have rust. Rust. So rust is actually like a reddish or like a yellow brownish coating of iron oxidized that is formed on the iron by oxidization. You will see like on the iron, sometimes it becomes too much old, so they have a little bit rust, right? Reddish or either yellowish brown. That was we call rust. Seam. Another word we have seam. Seam, actually seam is a line where two things join, especially a line of sieving join. So they're having a line, so where the two things or either two sides of a fabric, they join. That is what we call Seam. Another word we have spend. Spend. So spend, actually we use like something we spend. We use, like for example, we spend money, we use money, right? Or something like that. Spend, what we use, right? Stab. Stab. So stab is actually like push a sharp object in, right? That means stab. Like for example, if we having like a stitching needle and we would like to stitch a cloth and we put inside, right? So that means stab. Stand. Another word we have stand. So stand, a colored page or dirt or dirty mark that is actually difficult to remove, right? So that's stand. Another word, temporary. Temporary. So temporary means which something is not for long time, right? Just for a short time. That means temporary. Another word, tighten. Tighten. Tighten is actually when we make something tight, like we join something very tight, not loose. It means tighten. Very. Very, like to make differences between item. To make differences between item, right? That's what we call very. Okay, students, now one more time. First word in our vocabulary, we have best. Best. Second word, detergent. Detergent. Third word in our vocabulary, we have kerosene. Kerosene. Mend. Mend. Pincushion. Pincushion. Rust. Rust. Seam. Seam. Spend. Spend. Stab. Stab. Stand. Stand. Temporary. Temporary. Tighten. Tighten. Very. Very. Okay, very nice. Okay, students, now we are going to start unit number 2, clothes, right? So here we are going to learn how we can stitch our clothes, how we can repair our clothes. Okay, students?
Okay.
All right. Now, here we are going to learn the method, right? So the method of mending clothes. So as I already tell you, mending clothes, mending means like a repair or fix. Okay, so mending clothes. So what we are going to do, first of all, here we have there are different ways to mend clothes. So we have many different ways that with those ways we can mend our clothes. You should choose which method to use based on damage to the clothes to be mended. So we have different methods, different ways of mending our clothes. So we have to choose the right one, and it depends on what is the damage, what kind of damage is in our clothes. So it will be based on the damage to the clothes to be mended. Okay, students? So first way here we have, number one, we have running stage. Okay, so a running stage is a method to repair clothes that people do by hand in order to permanently stitch up the damage on clothes. Okay, the length of each stitch is vary. It's not same, it's different. However, it is recommended that stitches should not be too long in order to get a stronger seam. Okay, students. So the first way of how we can stitch we can mend our clothes, that is running stage. Okay, so running stage, what we have to do, uh, we have to that's actually a method. With the help of that method, we can repair our clothes that people do by hand. Mostly the running stage is doing by hand. So why? That is for the purpose of to make the clothes stitch permanently. Okay, and they can stitch up the damage on the clothes. So the length of each stitch can be vary. However, it is recommended that stitches should not be too long in order to get stronger seam. So if you want a stronger seam, we should not make the stitch too long, right? So then our stitch, it will be more stronger. All right, students, you understand that? Number one, running stitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now let's see. Here, now we having here, there are two types of running stage. Okay, so we have two type of running stage. Number one, a straight stage or forward running stage, okay, is used for sewing two edge of clothes or fabric, stitching up two pieces of clothes or fabric, or making seam on pockets of shirts or skirts for decoration. The procedure for a forward running stage is as follow. So here a straight stage, actually that is running forward, like it's going forward, right? The stretch that's running forward, and that is actually used for the edge of the cloth, the fabric, edge, it used for that. And mostly the stitching actually two pieces of clothes or fabric, or making seam, so they make a seam like a line, right? Mostly on the pockets of shirts or skirt for decoration. Like you can see in the pockets of the shirt here. So we have like a straight line on that. Or either you will find that for the decoration of skirts. So the procedure for a forward running stitch is as follow. How we gonna do the forward running stitch? Here are the ways. Number one, what we have to do, prepare your material. Okay, so what kind of material we required? We required like a different kind of material and tools, such as needle, right? Needle, thread, scissor, fabric, or cloths for repairing. These are the material we required. So we have to prepare our material and tools. So in our material and tools, the most important ones, they are needle, thread, scissor, fabric, or cloth for repairing. These are required, the material. Okay, students? Now, number two, what we have to do? We have to fold the edge of fabrics, then stick them tightly by basting. So the edges of the fabric, we have to fold, right? And then stick them by basting. This also make a temporary guideline. Okay, it's a temporary guideline to run the stitches. So we have here, like you can see in the picture, this is actually what we call like a basting to create guideline. This is how you can make like a basting, like a line, right? So it will guide us from where we can run our stitches. Okay, students, you understand that?
Yeah.
All right. Now, next step, what we have to do. Number three, insert the thread into the eye of needle, and then tie the two ends of the thread together in order to make a knot. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna take like a needle, right? And on top of the needle, they're having like a small hole. That is what we call the eye of the needle, right? So we're gonna put the thread into that, and then bring it long, and then cut it, right? And at the end, both of that, we have to lock it, we have to knot. Okay, this is how we're gonna follow. All right, until here you understand, students?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, let me explain one more time what we have to use before we prepare. So we have to prepare our tools, our material. Okay, and material we need needle, thread, scissor, fabric, or cloth for repairing. These are the material we need. Okay, then second, what we're gonna do, we're gonna fold the edge, the outer surface, the edge of that, we're gonna fold it, okay, of the fabrics, then stick them together by basting. This also make a temporary guideline to run the stitching later. Okay, now number three, what we're gonna do, we're gonna insert the thread through the eye of needle, right? The thread we already have, we're gonna put into the small hole on top of the needle. In the eye of the needle, we're gonna insert into that, and then tie the two ends of the thread. How long we need the thread, we're gonna take, right, and then cut it with the scissor, and the end of the two thread, we're gonna lock it. Okay, students, you understand now?
Yes.
Until here, okay? All right, now number four. Okay, number 4, what we have to do? We have to hide the knot at the back of the fabric. Like we knot already the thread, right? So that one we have to hide it in the back side, not in the front of the cloth. Okay. Then number 5. Number 5, what we have to do? Stab the needle up and down to the fabric in order to run for about 2 stitches at a time. Here you can see how we're gonna do, like the needle here, you can see here, the needle, we're gonna end right and then up. We're gonna down and up. And we are going to make like 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. Okay, we are going to make 4 stitches at a time. After that, what we have to do, and then pull them and then pull out the needle. Here you can see after making 4 stitches, then we're gonna take out the needle. All right. So to tighten the thread, so that we are going to take out after 4 stitches, take it out and make tight, make it tighten. All right. After that, continue this until you reach the end of the line. So the same process, what we have to do first, one more time, student, listen again carefully. We have to stab the needle up and down. Like you can see, first we're gonna like up and then bring it out, like put in and then take it out, right? So that means up and down, right? Through the fabric, into the fabric or into your cloth, okay? In order to run for 4 stitches at a time. So we are going to make like put in, out, up and down 4 times, right? So we're gonna have 4 stitches at one time. And then pull out the needle to tighten the thread. After making the 4 stitches, we're gonna take out the needle and make it tighten. All right, continue this until you reach the end of the line. So how much long we have the line, we will continue, we will follow the same way until the end of the line. Now number 6, tie a knot at the end of the stitch line and cut off the rest of the thread. After that, take out the basting thread. So while we are done, we come to our end line. So what we have to do, we have to tie, we have to lock, and we have to tie a knot, make it like a lock, right? The thread at the end of the stitching line. Until how long we have to stitch, then we have to tie a knot, okay, and cut the thread, cut the rest of the thread. The remaining thread we are going to cut with the scissor. After that, take out the basting. So the basting we already make, right, that we are going to take out. All right, students, you understand that? This is what we call how we are going to do forward. Okay, now this was the one way. The 6 different steps what we follow. This is for the moving forward, the forward running stitch. Okay, students? And now we have the second one, the backwards running stitch. Okay, so first of all, we have to know what does it mean by backward running stitch. A backward running stitch has the same purpose as a forward running, both either forward, either the backward. The purpose of that is same. It is same to make stitching, right? So what is the difference? Then what is the difference here? The only difference is that backward stitches, will make a stronger seam. Okay, backward stitching looks very similar to stitching made by a sieving machine. Okay, the procedure of backward stitching is as follow. So both actually backward running stitches and forward running stitches, both are actually same. They are for the same purpose. What is the difference? Only one difference. The difference is backward stitching, backward stitches will make a stronger seam. Okay, they will have a stronger seam. Backward stitching looks very similar to stitching by a machine. And second thing, that is the backward stitching, it will look more like a machine stitching. We do the stitching by machine as well. So it will look exactly more close to the machine stitching. Now, how are we gonna do? We have to follow the procedure, okay, as in the next. Now, until here, student, you understand that? You got any question?
No.
No, no question, all of you? Okay, now, let's see what are the steps we are going to follow for the backward stitching. Here they are. We have here 4 steps to follow, okay? So, number 1, what we have to do, we have to prepare materials. So, prepare your material and tools. Same, we require every kind of stitching while we do, so we require material and tools for that, okay? So, what are the tools? They are such as needle, thread, scissor, fabric, or cloths for repairing. So these are the most important tools, material and tools. Number 1, we required needle. Second, we required thread. Third, we required scissor. Fourth, we required fabric or cloths for the purpose of repairing. To do our repairing, we require these material and tools. So what are the steps we have to follow? After that, the next step here, number 2, fold the edges of fabric, then stick them together by basting. Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna fold the edges, the inside of the cloth or either a fabric. We're gonna what we're gonna do, we're gonna fold that. Okay, one time we're gonna fold it. All right, then after folding, then stick them together by basting. So both of them we're gonna stick together by basting. This is also makes a temporary guideline to run the stitch later. So while we stick both edges of the fabric by basting, so what it's gonna do, it will make a temporary guideline to run the stitch, that we will have idea which side and how long we are going to run the stitch. Okay, students, you understand until here?
Yeah.
Okay, now number 3, third step, insert the thread through the eye of the needle. Okay, same as we do in the first one, here we also have to do. What we're gonna do, we're gonna take the thread and insert into the eye, to the small hole of the needle. Okay, and then tie the here, and then tie the 2 ends of the thread together in order to make a knot. So while we insert the thread into the eye of the needle, after that, how long we need the thread, we're gonna move that, we're gonna take that much long and then cut it, and the end of the thread, both of them, we are going to knot it. We're gonna tie it. So we will have a lock on that. Okay, students. Now, number 4. Hide the knot at the back of fabric. So the knot what we have at the end of the thread, we put it into the needle. That side actually we're gonna hide it in the back. Like for example, not in the front, in the back side. Okay. So the first step is to put the needle down. Okay. The first step is to put the needle down through the fabric to make a single stitch. Okay. In order to leave a little space for the back stitch in the next step. Okay. So first what we're gonna do, we're gonna take the first step. We are going to put the needle down through the fabric. Like we're having a fabric, we're gonna put the needle down to make a single stitch. Okay, we will have only single stitch first in order to leave a little space for the back stitch, and we are going to leave a little bit gap, a little bit space, so that is for the back stitch. Now after that, next step. All right, students, so until here you understand 1 2 3 4?
Yes.
Are you sure? Are you sure, students? You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, I repeat one more time here. Number 1, the 4 step we are going to follow. So number 1, prepare your material and tools such as needle, thread, scissor, fabric, and clothes for the repairing. Second thing, what we have to do, we have to fold the edge of fabric, then stick them together by basting. This also makes a temporary guideline, okay, to run the stitch later. Number 3, insert the thread through the eye of the needle, right? And then tie the 2 ends of the thread together in order to make a knot. Number 4, hide the knot at the back of the fabric. The first step is to put the needle down through the fabric, okay, through the fabric to make a single stitch in order to leave a little space for the back stitch in the next step. All right, now next step, what we have to do, let's see. Okay, next step, number 5. All right, so stab the needle about a centimeter behind the first stab to make a stitch using the basting stitch as a guideline. Okay, then stab the needle, through again from the bottom of the top, making a stitch forward to create another stitch. Okay, point the needle at the end of the last stitch and stab it down through to the back and another stitch. Okay, another stitch should have been made now. Repeat this process again and again until you reach the end of the line. Okay, here you can see the first one here given. This is actually the front stitch. Okay, how we do the front step, follow making like a stitch, making like a straight line, right? So the back stitch, how we do, we can do here. We are going to start like from the half in between. You can see here. Okay, these are the ones you can see. The upper one, it is right from the back. This one here, it's from the front. Okay, so we have both from the back also, from the front also. So this kind of stitching, the back stitching, actually it is quite similar to like a sewing machine, how we do the stitching on the machine. So it is exactly close to that. Okay, all right. Now the same process we have to do until we meet our end line. How long we have to do the stitch until the end? We have to follow the same stitching. Now, number 6, tie the knot at the end of the stitched line and cut off the rest of the thread. After that, take out the basting thread. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna, like, if we reach to the end, then we are going to tie the knot, okay, to lock it right at the end of the stretching line and cut the rest of the thread what we have remaining. Okay, after that, take out the basting thread. All right, students, did you get that?
Yes.
Okay, now here I repeat one more time. Step number 5 and step number 6. Okay, step number 5, what we're gonna do, we're gonna stab the needle about a centimeter, like 1 centimeter. We're gonna stab. Okay, we're gonna put in right behind the first step. Okay, so behind the first step we are going to put to make a stitch using the basting stitches as a guideline. So the basting stitches we are going to use as a guideline. Then stab the needle through again from the bottom to make from the bottom to the top. So from the bottom we are going to take it out to the top, making a stitch forward to create another stitch. So the same step we are going to follow. We got a first step down and then a centimeter gap and then put it up, down and up. Okay, until